What's the name of the podcast, Ethan?
I don't fucking know.
Yeah, it's not comedy.
It's not going to be a podcast. It's going to be a fucking train wreck.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say.
Will you finish your fucking thing?
But that one might.
Yeah. You're just going to eat during the podcast?
Yeah,
All right. Fair enough. Well, you wanted me to eat a full bucket of chicken on the podcast, so
I did.
yeah.
Is that going to happen?
Look,
I reckon we could have done it on Friday night.
I reckon we could have, but we're not going to acknowledge it, so... Me and Ethan did a podcast on Friday where we were under the influence,
Nice.
Certain
and
green plants.
no,
I hope this is being released.
and yeah, it was just a fucking. It was like two schizophrenics in a room talking to each other with a mic between them.
Yeah, I don't know how it's going to go, eh?
Yeah,
You'll have to get back to us on that one.
yeah,
Let us know what you think. It was pretty out there.
yep.
How long did that one go for?
We got an hour, but it felt like 4.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It felt like 4.
We kept arguing, and then I'd interrupt Ethan to explain to him how I understood what he was saying. Just explain his point back to him. He's like, yes, that's exactly what I mean, Mitchell. I'm like, well, I'm glad we're on the same page, man.
Then we had the bright idea of like we're going to get you on today, and then we'd sit down and listen to it, and while we're listening to it, we'd like be doing another podcast, so it's like podception. It's like a podcast within a podcast.
And it sounded like the best idea ever when we came up with it.
Yeah.
We were like, God damn, that's a good idea. And I kept asking Ethan, I'm like, is that a good idea? And Ethan's like, yeah, man, that's a good idea. I'm like, you sure? He's like, yeah. I'm like, all right, fuck yeah.
So it'd just be like we listened to that one, and then all of a sudden it just cuts to today, and we're talking about us talking about the podcast or some shit. I don't know how it would work. It'd
Yeah.
probably take forever to edit it.
I was gonna say,
Oh.
sounds like if you pulled it off, it could work, but it's some effort.
We said some things that we thought were the funniest things ever. And we're yet to listen back to it and find out if it was actually funny or not.
Probably not.
Probably not.
So you
People-
haven't listened back to it yet?
No, not yet. But we will.
Do you remember any of the things you touched on? Or?
Nope.
Not at all.
We were on another fucking planet, Ben.
So you were well drunk.
Oh, dude.
Yes, drunk.
Yeah, drunk.
Oh, right.
We were a few beers deep.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's what we did on Friday night.
We got to the point where I was like, I'm ready to go off into the deep end, and you're like, no.
No.
We're
Let's
not
listen to
doing-
some Doobie Brothers. Just started playing the Doobie Brothers and just calming music because
Blues.
Ethan's like, let's listen to the fucking Primus. And I'm like, nah, man, I'm not ready for that.
Promise is good. This is how retarded I am when it comes to drugs, though. For ages, I didn't realize the Doobie Brothers was like their last name wasn't Doobie. It was like maybe a year ago. Someone was like said Doobie Brothers, and it clicked. I'm like,
Oh, they smoke doobies.
yeah. I was like, oh, that makes sense. For ages, I thought they were like, you know, I don't know what their real names are, but like just a like Glennon Phil Doobie or some shit.
Yeah. We had a mate that did that with the Chemical Brothers. He's like, do these guys take drugs? Like, think about it.
That'd be me because I fucking know nothing about.
Their last name's not Chemical? Fuck.
Whoops.
I've been lied to.
Easy mistake to make.
Yeah.
especially when you're dumb.
How are you feeling today, Mitch? You a bit wrung out?
No, I'm all right.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's good.
I'm like a phoenix that has risen from the ashes.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I had to shed some ego last night. I feel like I went real deep.
Maybe you should try shedding some fat
Yeah, no.
instead of ego.
No. Nah, it was I started early yesterday, so it was a whole day thing.
You did. You're like, I'm going to double down. I'm like, all right. Maybe you should eat a muffin first.
No,
Like, nah.
didn't eat anything all day.
Which is too yesy.
I just fucking sat on the computer, out of my brains.
He had a certain thing for breakfast that you shouldn't have.
Right.
It's not a great idea.
No, it was good though.
Oh, it was good.
It was good. I might triple down. Like, why not?
Why not? Go on,
You
mate.
got nowhere to be.
I got work tomorrow.
Your oak saxophones in
Are
the
you
kitchen.
still working from home? Or?
Yeah, still working from home. Got the little fucking cave/office there, the front there. So
I don't know if I could do that, Because half my material I get from just like talking to people at work. So
yeah. I specifically can't use any material from
Yeah.
work. It'd be fucking awkward. Get me fired, quick, smart.
Yep.
Yeah.
I probably should get the sack for some things I say to people, but
Yeah.
I'm lucky that most of them are tradies. But there was one day there was this, I don't know what I was thinking, but there was this dude coming in. I'd never met him before, and he was looking for gloves. And he goes, "Oh, are these like the biggest gloves you got?" And I went, "Yeah, they're the biggest ones." Kind of thing. He goes, "Ah, yeah, big hands." And I went, "Yeah, they come with a dick." And I didn't know him, and he's just kind of going. Ha! That just look on his face and I was like, "Oh my! Oh, thank God he took that well."
Yeah.
I was like, "I don't know you." But
You never know with customers, how they're going to take it.
nah.
They
Nah,
can be real
too bad if
cunts.
it was a chick too.
Yeah, I've got. So there was one she came in one day, and her husband was there, and they were picking out like timber architraves and whatnot, and he's pulling them all out of the rack, and he's going, "Oh, is this one alright?" She's going, "Oh no, that one's got like they had to all be the same colour. There couldn't be any like different colours and shit like that." And she's going, "Oh, not that one. That one's lighter than this one. This one." And she looked at me and she goes, "Oh, I just want them all to look the same." And I went, "Oh, you want them to look the same?" She goes, "Yeah." And I said, "Paint them." We were like up at the top of this mezzanine, and she just walked off down the stairs and went and sat in the car. Just me and her husband, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm sorry, mate." And I'm like, "Oh shit, this guy's apologising to me."
I thought he'd be thanking you. He's like, finally, you got rid of her.
And I told a lady like to basically fuck off in the most politest way because
Yeah.
I did this quote for her for this deck, and I was like, the moment she came in, I just knew she's going to be trouble.
Yeah.
I was like, something you're going to have a complaint. I don't know what it is yet, but anyway, so they got all the materials and whatnot. I spied it all. I went out there, and then I got the phone call, and she goes, "Oh, you've given me all the offcuts of the decking." And I was like, "What the fuck do you mean offcuts?" She goes, "Oh, there's short lengths in here." I said, "Yeah, well, they're random lengths kind of thing. That's what linear meterage is. Like they're not."
Yeah.
And she goes, "Oh, but you've given me all the short ones." And she was under the impression that I had cut them all and given her the off. And well, we don't cut them. This is how it comes to us, kind of thing. And she goes, "Oh, well, I've built a lot of decks and that's not normal." And I said, "Well, I've sold a lot of packs of timber and I can tell you that's very normal." And she's like, "Oh, all right." So,
Fucking hell.
there's a real subtle way of being like, "Fuck off."
Yeah. Imagine arguing with the person who works there and knows how they rock up. That's just fucking mental.
Yeah, I was like, "I didn't cut your decking. It's just you get short links sometime." Like,
Yeah.
"Look, I'm gonna have 5 joins. What? Not you put all the short links together, yeah, but why don't you just pair them with some of the longer ones?"
Yeah. Well,
DIYers, they fucking suck.
yeah, that's why I don't do anything.
You don't want to be that guy.
Yeah. DDIY. Don't do it yourself.
Yeah, we deal with shit like that all the time with caravan repair. People that watch YouTube videos and come in and think they know how to do shit.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, they're the fucking worst to deal with. It's like the other day had a roof leaking and we're like, yeah, we'll get up there with the hose and check that it's not leaking. He's like, it's leaking from here. We're like, yeah, well, we just need to check everything because, you know,
Yeah.
it's just cunts like that.
It's a whole
It's like,
system.
fucking hell. If you know what you're talking about so much, why don't you just fucking do it yourself?
Yeah.
Why are you here?
Yeah.
Go away. They never do.
Nah, they're good. Gotta love customers. I deal with solicitors. Solicitors are fucked. Solicitors are like, they're just, all they
from
do.
the start, they think they're smarter than you, kind of thing.
Well, they are smarter than me. That's
well, yeah.
that's half the problem.
Yeah.
And also, all they do is argue for a living. So even if you're asking for something very minor, like let's say you want a a form that they've already sent you once 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Like, sorry, mate, I can't find the form. Can you resend it? Oh, I can't. I've never had to do this before. Well, you've never had to resend a form. You're telling me how many years you've been a solicitor? Like 7 years? In 7 years, you've never had to resend a form.
Never
I'm
happened.
like, never happened. The
Uncharted
reason it
territory.
hasn't happened is because you flat out refuse because you're a difficult cunt. That's why it's never happened.
It's what you said in your head, and then you're like, oh, maybe I'll just check me junk. Or
Yeah. Exactly that.
maybe it is our fault.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
So-
just not worth the fucking hassle sometimes.
man. And I'm like, sometimes I put my foot down and I just argue with them. And it's like my teammates, and they're like, man, you're just running at a fucking brick wall here. Like, it's not, you're not solving anything. It's like, yeah, sometimes I've just gotta, sometimes you've just gotta fucking put your foot down. You're like, no, you're a cunt.
Oh man, my brain's still not on the correct tracks from last night. Eh? I'm like, I'll just think about something completely different.
Yeah.
While you're yammering away, I'm like, yes, I am a cunt.
You're the customer normally.
yeah. I feel like I'm the customer in this conversation. It's like, fucking hell.
No, it's your dad. Your dad's the difficult
He's
customer.
been next fucking level lately. I've been looking at getting a van,
Yeah.
and because he's bored, because he's retired, he's just like every fucking van from here to the Central Coast to Sydney he's looked at, and he's just fucking hassling people on Gumtree and Facebook and shit, trying to get the best deal ever.
Yeah.
And then he just comes in to bother me like every fucking half an hour. Oh, have you seen this one? I'm like, yes, I've seen that one. Fucking
It's pretty good, eh?
yeah.
Yeah.
But we'll get one.
I hate dealing with people on like Gumtree and shit. Remember ages ago I was trying to sell me car, and it was like nothing wrong with it. It ran fine. It was like a Falcon, but it had cosmetic shit kind of thing, so it
Yeah.
didn't look the greatest. But it ran like a dream kind of thing. And I'd put up for like $800 just because I wanted to get rid of it.
It's a fucking cheap car.
Yeah, fucking hope it was. But
With Rego, mate?
yeah, probably had 4 or 5 months on there.
Fuck.
So, and this one guy was like, oh, because that was it, because the back seat wasn't real stable. And we were expecting me kid and whatnot, so I had to get like a better back seat to put car seats in and whatnot. And this guy messaged me. He goes, "Oh, would you trade it for like this mountain bike?" And I'm like, "No." He's like, "Oh, it's a really good mountain bike." And I was like, "Well, sell it for $800 and then come talk to me." Like,
Yeah.
I don't want a bike. I'm getting a car. Like,
Oh, man. I had this one bloke.
You should have
right?
just sent him a picture of yourself back and been like, do I look like I ride a mountain bike, motherfucker? Like, oh, no, fair enough.
I
probably would have
was
sold it.
I was doing the same thing. We were selling a Commodore just here. Put it on Gumtree for $1,000 because we just wanted it gone.
Yeah.
And like the people who are looking at cars in that price range are always just fucking dead shits.
Yeah.
Like if you've got no other choice but to buy like $1,000 car, you're probably an okay person. I shouldn't say that, but at the same time, it's like they're gonna be difficult
Yeah.
because like this one person, like I've got to catch a bus, and
That just reminded me of something.
yeah, I've got to catch a bus and get there, so I can only afford to pay $800. I'm like, okay, then don't come because I'm not going to sell you the car. Like, and then they're like,
I'll save you the
"Oh,
time. I'll be up front with
Yeah. They'll be like, oh, but I really need it. I'm like, I really need the extra $200. So,
Yeah.
fuck, what do you think this is? A charity?
you. Yeah.
Like, they probably get here too, and they'd be like, oh, I've only got 700.
Yeah.
And he'd
Do
be
you
like,
have it
"Oh,
in blue?"
cunt."
And you're like,
Yeah.
I really
you
had my heart
repaint
set
it
on
for
a
me?
blue car. It's kind of me car.
Yeah. And then, like, another dude comes around. They just, like, walk up the front, knock on the door, and they're like, oh, yeah, check out the car. And I told them everything that was going on with it. And I was like, yeah, like, it's all good. I've already had an offer of 1,000. But I said, if you take it now, I'll give it to you for 950.
Yeah.
Like, whatever. He was like, 900. I'm like, I've already had an offer of 1,000. I really want to get rid of it, so I'm dropping it to 950, but that's it.
Yeah.
And they're like, $900 or I'm walking. I'm like,
Or walk, because
okay, see you later.
I guess you're catching the bus.
Yeah.
Fuck
And
you.
then they come back 20 minutes later and bought it off me.
So I had something similar. I was still in a car seat and I had it on there for like $50. And the Sheila messaged me and she goes, "Oh, would you do 20 or something like that?" And I said, "Oh, look, I'll do 30 because it's just is what it is." And she goes, "Oh, all right, no worries." She goes, "I live here," kind of thing. And
Expect you to drop it off.
yeah, well, I was like, "Oh, well, it's on my way home from work. It's literally like
Oh,
a
right.
2-minute detour." I was like, "That's fine. I'll come around after work," kind of thing. And she goes, "Okay, just text me when you get here because the kids are asleep or whatnot." And I went, "Okay, no worries." So I get there and I get the car seat down and I text her to say I'm here, kind of thing. And I was sitting there waiting for like 10 minutes. And eventually I looked at my phone again and there was this text saying, "Oh, if you do it for $20, I'll come out." And so I just put the car seat back in the car and drove off.
Yeah.
And she goes, "Where are you?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm not doing it for $20.
Yeah.
So I drove off. And then she gave me the whole sub. So, "Oh, I've got to get my son to the doctor's tomorrow." I'm like, "No, you don't."
Yeah.
It's like if you had to, surely, you would have had this planned a way to get there. Like,
Clearly, your kid isn't very important because you just fucking haggled his car seat over $10, and it was like a non-negotiable as well. It's like $20 or I don't buy it.
I was like, I had 50 on it because she was, single mum, or maybe she was. I have no idea, but I was like, you know what? Look, I don't care. Like,
you know what she was?
I'll do
She
it
was
for-
a cunt.
Yeah, she was. But I was like, you know what? I'll do it for 30. 30.
Yeah.
It wasn't a shitty car seat or anything like that. I was like, I'll do it for 30 for you. And then I'll get there and she's like 20 and I'll come out. I'm like, fuck you. Like, so I just drove off and then she's like, "Where are you?" I'm like, "Home." Like, he didn't want to do it for $30. So I was like, "You fucking piece of shit." I hate
What
dealing
the
with people
fuck?
fucking selling shit.
Yeah. Don't ever give anything away for free. Like, ever. We were giving away a mattress and a washing machine once. And it was a fucking nightmare. Had these people come in. I was living in Raymond Terrace, so
Yeah.
don't ever give anything away for free if you live in a ghetto. So I was there.
That's not how you give it away. You just put it out the front and go, right, do not touch.
Yeah, do not touch.
Yeah.
We used to live on Minway Road at Fletcher. And my mum was like, this was when I was a teenager kind of thing. And my mum was getting new lounges, and so I carried the old ones out. And whatever you used to put across the road, because across the road was just nothing, basically. It was just a paddock. And if you put anything across there, it just fucking go. It didn't matter what it was. And so I carried these lounges across, and I just finished putting the last one down. And this bloke just drove past with his window down. He's like, "I'll be back in 20 minutes." 20 minutes later, he was back. I was like, that was fucking quick.
He expected you to hold them for him.
I don't know. I don't know what he was like planning. I'm like, "Mate, they're just here. Like, just fucking take them." Like, if someone else gets here before you, but like, I was like, that's a pretty quick turnaround. Like, I don't think they're going anywhere. Don't stress, buddy. But
You have
must have
idiots
really
on the
needed
other side too that'll sell shit, but like the sellers that are retarded. This chick was like, "I've got someone to come look at my van on Sunday," so she was like putting me off coming to look at it. I'm like, "I've got cash today. Like, I might come out and actually buy this thing, and you're putting me off for someone that may or may not turn up on Sunday. Like, you're a fucking idiot. What?"
You're just like, oh.
I hope that person didn't turn up too.
Oh,
That'd be fucking hilarious. And she's like, "Oh, maybe I should have said that he could come around."
Yeah.
Fucking hell, they're trying to sell shit. Yeah, it's mental.
I'm selling our unit, or looking to sell our unit. Fuck, I can't wait for that.
Well,
That's going to be awesome.
place?
Not this place, a different place. And it's like dealing with difficult people when you're talking about like a lot more money is even worse because they've got demands.
Yeah.
And they think they can have those demands filled because they're spending money. And the only reason I know that is because I was that person when I bought the unit. I walked in, I'm like, "Take the fucking stickers off the roof, cunts." Or I'm not buying it. Yeah.
Nah, it can be fucking painful selling shit.
Yeah. So you writing any new bits, mate? You got any new bits on the go?
We've got a few going because during COVID I actually spent some time writing. So,
Yeah.
But I came up with one the other day. It was basically, so it's basically going, like, because I'm NRL fan kind of thing, but going, don't really like where the game is these days because, today players punch on with their misses more than they do each other kind of thing. like I'm sick of the handbags at 20 paces. Like they just fucking get in a scuffle and they're like, fuck your shirt. Like you can't go on that. I'm like, wouldn't it be great if we could just reverse that? Like they fucking punch on with each other and the worst thing they do to their misses is fuck your iron. Do it again, you bitch. That'd be where we want to be.
It's probably how it used to be.
Yeah. Take
Now
it
they're
all
like,
out on
can't
the
punch
field.
on the field. Now I've got to go home and smash me wife.
And then I'd like to tag on and be like, the NRL does have a bit of a fucking bad name kind of thing. And I really thought when like they were looking at getting Israel Folau, he might be the saving grace because, he's a good athlete and he's handsome and he's Christian and whatnot. But then he went and opened his mouth about how bad gay people are. And you're like, why can't you just do something forgivable, like hit your missus? Like, instead, you had to go taking shots at the gays. Like,
It is fucked up that they made such a big deal out of that compared to that shit. Fucking,
Yeah.
Oh, man.
don't get me wrong, I still think that guy's an absolute fuckwit. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. They're like, you can hit your missus, just don't do it on fucking social media. That's all they care about.
Yeah.
As long as it's behind closed doors.
You can hit your missus. We just don't want to hear your opinion about hitting your missus.
But yeah, that was one I came up with the other day, and there was one I tried to do. It was the first weekend back I tried to do it, but I forgot half of it. But it was basically like, women are real indecisive. You ask them when they want to eat, they don't fucking know, and that they're always so happy about how good at multitasking they are, but all that is more indecision. They can't decide what task they want to do first, so they do both shit at the same time. And then there's the whole fucking thing where they can withdraw consent after after a guy sleeps with them. So you don't even know who you want to fuck. Like this is that's the difference between dudes. Dudes are just like, I'm fucking her and I'm doing a Macca's run. Like I don't
Yeah.
got it all figured out. But and then there was where was it tagging to from that? Trying something like how like guys will just try. At any stage, a dude will see a Sheila. It doesn't matter what she's doing; she could be doing anything. And he's like, so there'll be guys out there who'll be like, now would be a good time to hit on her, see if try a rooter kind of thing, or even if she's just grocery shopping or working out kind of thing.
Yeah.
And being like, I actually feel sorry for women kind of thing like that because I've never had to deal with that before. And be like, I don't think I'd be a good woman though, because if I was a woman, I'd just be like anything that was half a chance that I could put in my vagina. I'd be putting. I would. And the more things that are half a chance that you put in there, the more things that become half a chance.
Yeah.
To kind of go in there and then be like, what? Something like
I'd just come back with I'd have AIDS by the time I was 20. If I was a chick.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd just be like, I'd just fucking thrash it basically. Like I'd hang off the back of a lawnmower with no catcher, use me vag as a catcher, get that fresh grass smell in there so Jamie Drury'd come fuck me, fucking, or shit, just how bad I'd be if I was a woman,
That's an image.
Yeah.
Ben's massive cunt just catching grass.
And dicks.
And dicks. If anyone would, but
Yeah, well, that's what someone, it was Brooke, put up a status about
Jesus.
about fucking something with
sex workers.
yeah, sex workers and shit. You saw that one, did you?
Yeah, I saw that, but-
Yeah, I got involved.
I didn't understand what side people were arguing, so I was just like, I don't really have a strong opinion anyway, so I'm not commenting on them. But
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know if people are for this or against this.
It's
or...
basically saying that men will say that women who sell their bodies are disgusting, and then they'll go work manual labor jobs, and that's selling your body just in another way. But it's no men's ever said that.
Yeah. No.
I don't know that many guys that are prostitution is wrong. I can't believe women sell their bodies like that.
Yeah.
Who says that?
People who want to hide the fact that they go to prostitutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know any dudes that say that.
Guys who jack off to the clothes part of the porno and then they start undressing, they're like, fucking.
Yeah. Yeah. Watching porn, you're like, I can't believe how much self-respect this woman lacks.
Yeah.
How dare she?
You know, I want to just watch a porn that I can bring home and show me mum.
Well, I think it's
A
like...
nice, respectful woman. Missionary only.
Yeah. But there's a difference between being being okay with someone and respecting someone for what they do as well. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's like I might not necessarily respect women that sell their bodies, but like respect is earned.
Yeah, I've got no,
Yeah.
I've got no dramas
to
with
get
it,
to
but
know
don't tell me
her.
how you're like running an empire.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
You're like
not
a
like-
real entrepreneur, and your only
Yeah.
fucking product is your vag. Like, oh, I'm exporting this all over.
yeah. Yeah,
I
my
run my own
concern,
delivery service.
my concern is the longevity of this business model because it's got a fucking use-by date on it.
Oh, yeah. No, you just move into different markets, mate.
Oh, yep. Granny porn.
It's similar to that WAP song. Like, I don't have a drama with the song at all. Actually, I don't mind it. I think it's kind of funny and whatnot. But my only issue comes with it is like where women are like, it's just so empowering. You're like, nah, it's not. Like, you know, even if like the patriarchy is existing, like, you know, we didn't get onto it just like singing about our dicks, just being like my 8-inch dick in your butt. Like, you know?
Well, that's how
Like,
rap
"Oh,
works.
that's why they're running shit. Like, it's fine because dudes sing about their dicks all the time. So
Yeah.
you want to sing about your vag, you go nuts. Like, it's
Yeah.
actually not a bad fucking song. It's, you know,
Yeah, but dudes aren't being like, yeah, that rap song about that dude, like, smashing 10 hoes is so empowering to men.
Yeah.
We're just like,
No, you didn't, cunt. We don't believe you.
yeah.
well, he probably did.
Oh,
Most rappers probably have.
you reckon?
Yeah, well, that's why they're singing about it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't think so.
Because they're out there slinging big
Maybe
black
not
dick.
to the extent of their songs, maybe, but they're probably
Yeah.
sleeping with a lot more people than I am. But
Yeah, well,
yeah, I don't fucking admire.
we don't.
yeah,
You
I don't
don't-
admire him because I'm like, God, this dude's getting so much poon. Like,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. You walk in, I've got a painting of him. You're like, oh wow, what did he do? He fucked 10 women at the same time. Would you believe it?
I read his book.
Yeah,
Tell you what, that cunt ever runs for office.
yeah. I had
He's got my
Einstein.
vote. I don't care what his policy is.
Yeah, I had Einstein up on the wall, but since I found out that this dude had fucked 10 chicks, Einstein's in the bin, and he's up on the wall
Yeah.
now. He's
Oh,
my
man.
hero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we also don't call fat dudes beautiful as well.
Maybe that's a bit I can do.
Mitch, you're so brave.
Yeah. I'm not overweight. I'm brave. Yes.
So
I'm
BBC
doing
doesn't
that.
stand for big beautiful cock. BBW is not big black women.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's fucking weird.
Yeah.
How it's like, oh, there's this thing that's like society sees it as negative, but I'm going to turn it into a positive. It's like it's a negative for a reason.
Yeah. Yeah. You're going to die with one leg.
Yeah.
Oh, that was the one other thing I wrote recently was it was like the only thing that really touches on COVID is basically using it to get into the joke is, you know, the most annoying thing about the whole COVID pandemic is all of a sudden everyone's got time on their hands.
Yeah.
And apparently when they get time on their hands, they get really into DIY. Now I work in a building supply store, so I've got to deal with all these fucking mongoloids. Like, you can't rip your kitchen out and put a new one in over the weekend just because you saw it on the block because
Yeah.
you don't have Scott Cam.
Yeah.
And then basically
Or tools.
Or tools. Scott Cam don't need tools.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole thing was I was going to go like, Scott Cam is to Australian carpentry what Jimmy Barnes is to Australian music. Basically, for all the NRL fuckheads who every year they want to complain about the halftime act and they insist on wheeling Jimmy Barnes out for one more rendition of Working Class Man. How about we get a Working Class Man? We just get Scott Cam out there getting to build a deck out of the goalpost while 80,000 fucking cunts cheer him on. You know, like, it's just basically tell me how good Scott Cam is because I constantly tell people at work they're shit compared to Scott Cam. Like, I had a guy like one day he's looking at this timber and it was boat as all fuck, and he's like, oh, this is fuck kind of thing. I was like, oh mate, Scott Cam would use it. He's like, well, fuck it, I'll take it then. And I was like, no way. And there was a real yardie there who saw it, and he's like, hey, I've got a witness. Like, it actually worked.
Oh man.
So then I just tell everyone, I'm like, mate, Scott can't put a fucking second story in your house, no tools. Like fucking.
I'm trying to write a bit. I went to the doctors a little while ago, and like for fat people, going to the doctors isn't a matter of like, oh, if I've got something, it's a matter of what have I got and how long until they start cutting limbs off. I went to the doctors and I had a blood test, and I remember saying to
It just came back as cholesterol.
well, it's just all cholesterol. They didn't take blood out at all. It was just cholesterol.
What's my blood type? Your blood type is cholesterol. You can't donate.
Yeah. I remember saying to the doctor when I did the referral for the blood test, I'm like, oh yeah, it's going to come back fucked. Like, I'm not looking forward to seeing it. And then when it comes back, it was like completely normal. And we were both like really surprised. We had to just sort of look at it. You sure that's my blood test?
He's like, this is normal, but I still think you should lose weight. You're like, no! The blood test has spoken.
I'm like, cholesterol? Yeah, good. Like,
Future Mitch's
am I low on any vitamins? No. Have I got too many vitamins? Sometimes that happens too. No, you're all good. All right. Cool. I'll see you next year.
You want a Big Mac? I'm getting one. Yeah.
Fucking. Apparently, they've got all the fucking essential vitamins you need.
Become a spokesperson for Macca's. Like,
I've become the new Jared.
that's what I was
but for
trying to think of his
Macca's,
name.
and I don't fuck kids.
How do you think he lost all that weight?
Yeah.
Catching them.
Oh man, those 4-year-olds, you just they just go forever. You know, you're constantly just chasing them around the house. Too far?
It's like that scene from Rocky where he's got to catch the chickens, but all the chickens are 4-year-olds. Someone going, speed, you need speed, Jared.
Oh fuck.
Oh,
Sorry.
that was good. What about you, Ethan? You writing any new bits?
Yeah, I wrote one on Friday night.
Yeah.
Well, there was the thing about cats are a lesson in consent. What did I say? I don't know if I said it on the podcast or not. But it was like, if they don't want belly rubs, then why do they look like they want one so much or something?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I don't know.
And the worst thing about it is they let you start rubbing their belly, and they seem like they're okay with it. And then after about a minute, they start biting you.
Yeah.
And then it becomes
They
awkward.
withdraw consent.
Yeah.
Little cunts.
Yeah. Now, it sounded better when we were not acknowledging it.
Yeah.
It always does.
It looked like it wanted it. So I started rubbing it, and then
Yeah.
next minute,
It started rubbing its own belly.
I started rubbing it,
Oh, right.
the cat,
Yeah.
the pussy, and then all of a sudden, the pussy didn't want to be rubbed anymore.
Oh, man. That reminds me of the bit I used to have about fucking your dog.
Yeah, I need to have like a canned, like a thing to say when people say, "Did you fuck the dog?" Because I was at Stag the other week, and it was going all right, but then this chick was like heckling me, and she was just like, I was like, "Yeah, I got caught by my dad having a wank." It's pretty embarrassing.
Sorry, was this just last week gone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, he didn't actually walk in on me, but like, he fucking knocked on my door and it was locked, and I was like, "No, I'm getting changed." Like, he knows what was up. But then she's like, "Did he help you finish?" And I'm like, "No."
Why would he? I don't know how your family dynamic works. But
Yeah, that's what I need
That's
to
a bit
say, man.
weird.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know about your relationship with your dad, but
You
yeah,
need to
that would've
fucking
been
lay off
fucking
the
great.
daddy porn.
Yeah. Any of those.
Just that kid that walked in on a parent's rootin' and just stayed. Like,
Yeah. All of these would have been really good to have
Yeah.
in the moment when I was on stage, but I had nothing. So they're good. I'll keep them in mind if I use that as an opener again.
yeah, did you just go at the Stag?
Yeah, it was all right. It was a good night.
I felt like it was lukewarm for me. I was like,
Oh, really?
it wasn't a great set. It wasn't a bomb. It
Did you
was
do any
just-
new stuff? You been doing the
Yeah, I tried a couple of different taglines and they just didn't work.
Yeah.
So that's like, because I feel like with the Stag, it's such a good room. You can pretty much get away with anything,
Yeah.
but at the same time, you can't. If you try new stuff, you better like it. If it doesn't work, it's
Sometimes you
super
can get away with shit. Depends on the crowd that's in there. Because
Yeah.
like that table to stage left that was like the younger girls, and there was like the two lesbians there, and like they were not liking any of the racist shit, and like comics are calling it the fag and hunter.
Oh, that's right. Because fucking Liam just finished his set, and Elliot gets up. He's like, "Oh, Stag and Hunter, more like Fag and Hunter. Am I right?"
And they did not like that.
No, but the comics did.
Yeah, it was this huge uproar from like the comics
Yeah.
side of the room,
Yeah.
and then
What about the rest of the room, though? Did they kind of
Just crickets.
did not
Crickets.
like.
Yeah, right.
And then they were just sitting there, just like stewing for like the whole of Elliot's act, and by the end of it, he won them back over.
Yeah,
Credit to him for being brave enough to use the word fag, I guess. Like,
Yeah, it was just they were not loving that shit, and like the racist shit that Jared was doing that sometimes works really well, like the bit about the boat and that, like they were just like, nah, we're not fucking having this.
Yeah.
It died.
he didn't. I feel like he didn't deliver it in the same way. So it was just emphasis on racism and not on his racist uncles. And he missed a couple of like his little taglines as
that
well.
helped build
So,
it up, yeah.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
I just thought he was shit. Fuck you, Jared.
I don't know about you guys, but I feel like the Stag's like kind of become a bad room to try new shit because it's such a good room.
You know,
It could get a laugh kind of thing. Whereas like if you do any of the other, like I feel like the other ones are the ones you want to try new shit because if you can get a laugh there, you're like, oh well, there's something to that. But the
Yeah.
Stag seems almost a little too easy to get laughs kind of thing. So
Yeah. Yeah. I forgot, like, I'm definitely moving away from writing notes as well. You can't write notes. You have to just fucking learn your set.
yeah,
You can't be like, because you use it as a crutch. And I've been doing it the last few
going
weeks.
off like notes on your hand.
Yeah,
like,
notes on your hand.
I've never
or-
used notes, and it doesn't always work for me. Like
You forget. You
Yeah,
definitely
sometimes
sometimes
back
you
at
eat
the
shit,
Wicco.
but then you're like, well, I deserve it because I didn't fucking prepare enough.
Yeah.
Well, that first
Yeah.
set we did back at the Wicco, I tried to do that whole, women are indecisive thing, but I was forgetting shit all the way through and I was stumbling on it. It was the one where you were like, it was literally a minute. I was like, and it was the one where you were like, oh, sandwiches. And I was like, no, I'll get it kind of thing. And then you held down again later, sandwiches. And I'm like, yeah, no, now it's time to go back to something I do know kind of thing. Because I'm just standing up on stage going, does anyone know my jokes? I'm like, why the fuck would anyone know your jokes? Like,
Yeah.
it's your job to fucking tell them. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's like, I don't necessarily care if the joke bombs, but if you perform badly, like, because I tried to do it, and because I didn't do it properly, I'm like, I don't know if it worked or not, because it's hard to tell if it's just unfunny or whether it was unfunny because I just delivered it so shit out.
Yeah.
And it was broken and it was missing bits and whatnot. You don't really get a good gauge on it.
Yeah.
So like if it's one thing if it bombs, you go, okay, well it's not great kind of thing. But if you deliver it shit, you're like, well, I still don't know how the fuck it lands because I haven't done it properly. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
that was the most fucking upsetting thing about that one was I was like, oh, for
it's just a
fuck's sake.
write off. Then you're like, I might as well not have fucking turned up. I
Yeah,
should've just
basically.
stayed home and fucking rehearsed it.
Yeah, I would have been just
Or
as good fucking.
spent the time rehearsing it before I came out.
Yeah, spot on.
Yeah, and when you write on your hand too, it looks like you're checking your watch, like when you're doing that, like
Yeah.
looking at the back of your hand, and you're like, oh, and to the crowd that looks like, oh, how long have I been on here? Like
Yeah,
that sort of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Because it breaks your concentration, and you use it as a crutch. You might come up with something in the moment to buy time,
Yeah.
as well, which is what I did. I was like, I forgot my joke, and I just like was just walking across the stage. I was like, oh, fuck, I'm fat.
and then
Everyone's like,
gets a laugh.
yeah, they got a laugh, and I was like, you ever finish rooting, like not rooting hard, just like rooting, like normally, and you think you're having a a fucking asthma attack, and then that got a laugh, and I was like, all right, cool, I can reset and I can finish.
Oh, was
my
that
last
just like
joke.
you just improv that?
Yeah,
Oh, nice. I thought you'd written that.
I'd said it before,
Yeah.
but I was like, I wasn't planning on saying it or anything
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
It was just literally like my brain shut down. I was like, oh, we'll fucking chuck this out and buy myself like a couple of seconds.
Sometimes it works though too, because if you're looking for your notes, you might see it, but then you're trying to remember how you worded it. Whereas if you stumble into it, you might find a different way to deliver it or different wording kind of thing.
Yeah.
It might also just come across a bit more natural.
Yeah.
Than trying to remember because I think half the battle is too like you don't want it to look like I think that I don't know, half of it is you kind of want to look like you're coming up with it on the spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like even though it's all written, like the best jokes kind of look like you're kind of making them up as you go, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't look like you've sat down and fucking wrote it out word for word and looks scripted and whatnot. So it looks a bit more natural kind of thing. So I think if you stumble into it, you kind of you might find a different way of wording it or whatnot. But yeah,
Yeah. And plus, like, I've been trying to build back up to like a proper 5 minutes again, because when we first came back, I was probably only doing like 3 minutes.
yeah.
3 minutes of jokes that worked, but it was only 3 minutes. So I'm trying to.
The good thing about that though is you got 2 minutes left to try new shit. So you could you could open with something new and then go into your other stuff and
Finish strong.
and finish strong kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or you could insert something in the middle and you put your other jokes either side of it kind of thing, so you can start
Yeah.
strong, finish strong kind of thing. So it's not necessarily the worst thing to have only like 3 minutes proven. I guess it gives you wiggle room to try something new.
Yeah, that's right. I found too, like, I'm doing that COVID joke, and it went well the first time, and then progressively, it just getting less and less. And I think
Are you
it's
still
because,
wording it the same though? Or?
No, I've changed it.
Yeah.
And I think that's it. I'm trying to like put extra in instead of just like fucking get there and do the joke and move on. And I'm trying to do it as a closer as well. And it's not a closer. It's
Every time you do that joke and you're like, the kid that's like a little bit, I reckon you should just go, kids like me.
yeah. Well, I was
'Cause every time you do it, I'm like, it's fucking you, cunt. You're the kid that shits in the sandbox.
Yeah. Well, I was actually trying to write on that. I was like, I've got a bit that I can add that, like, and I'm not making, like, I'd be like, he's just a bit fucking, weird. Like, like nothing, like, actually medically wrong with him. He's just a bit,
Yeah.
and then I'm like, because that's me. Like, I'm the cunt who drove into floodwaters. Like, yeah, and shit like that. So I'm like, there's somewhere to go from it. I think maybe, if I turn it back on myself. But
Yeah, well, if you're going to start calling people out for being retarded, like, you have to turn it back on yourself.
Yeah.
Otherwise, people are going to think you're just ripping on retards.
Yeah.
They're not going to like that.
yeah, no. Yeah, I'm ripping on Victoria because they're shit cunts.
They are.
Fucking Mexicans. I tried to add that bit. I was like, I was talking about like how Tasmania was a fuck up state. I was calling Victoria the fuck up state. I was like, for a long time it was Tasmania, because they got our guns taken off us.
Yeah.
Because of the mass shooting. But I didn't really explain that bit. So everyone's like, what have they got to do with our guns? Like, I don't think it really clicked. It was a bit of a...
I got it. It was just not funny.
Yeah, well, probably that too. Yeah.
I was like, oh, yes, Port Arthur massacre. That was a thing. Let's reminisce about that for a second. Hilarious. Remember when all those people died? That was so funny.
Yeah, the children. When somebody think of the children.
And then you started calling Victoria Tasmania.
Yeah, that's
Next
really
part.
what fucked it up.
Oh,
Yeah.
that reminds me of fucking the whole thing of the children thing. Like with my league joke was basically like half the reason they got rid of all the punch and whatnot was because they're like, oh, the children, it's a bad look for the game kind of thing. It's like, so there's a family sitting there watching, footy, and then the punch up starts happening, and the parents, the mum, would be like, oh no, we can't watch this kind of thing. Go play your PlayStation where you go shoot your friends. Like, you can't watch these two guys hit each other, but you go, play that fucking Mortal Kombat or whatnot. Like.
And most footy players want to hit each other. Like,
Well,
just let them do what they want to do.
I'm not even saying like I want fucking see fights every week or whatnot, but because if you want to see that, just watch UFC.
Yeah.
But like The only thing it does is it just adds this element of danger to the game, like because
Well, in hockey, since they took away the fighting, there's been way more injuries.
yeah.
Like, because there used to be like repercussions for being a cunt on the ice.
Oh yeah.
Like if
Yeah, don't slam
you're a
the goalie.
dickhead, yeah. If you like fucked up the goalie or fucked up like their best player, like there's a dude coming onto the ice to fuck you up.
But did you hear about I think it was last podcast of Rogan's that Bill Burr was on, and you see he was reading this book, and apparently like with hockey there's like a whole unwritten code when it comes to fighting kind of thing.
Yep.
And it was basically like if you're a little dude and you're fucking being a dick, you get a warning kind of thing. But then if you fucking do it again, you basically got to take your medicine. So like you got to square off with fucking whoever it is.
Yeah.
And if you don't, there's actually repercussions. I can't remember
For the rest of the team.
Yeah, no, like there's repercussions for you from your team kind of thing.
Yeah.
If you don't take your beating kind of thing, or whatnot, or square off, and some other kind of step in for you.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I don't
And you
remember.
get fingered in the locker room
Yeah.
later.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember what they do, kind of thing. But I was
Yeah.
like, that's kind of cool. It's like the unwritten code to how it works,
Yeah.
kind of thing. But yeah, like I'm not saying like fucking you want people punching on every week, kind of thing. But there's nothing worse than seeing like little dudes just fucking mouthing off at big dudes and they can't do anything and they just grab their shirt and you're like and you're like that's fucking. Like,
Yeah.
And when they all run in and they're just grabbing shirts, you're like, what the fuck is this? Like, why bother? Like, seriously.
Yeah. Well, what I
I
saw.
think that looks worse than fucking, two blokes punching on kind of thing. But
Yeah, like the thing with hockey too is I was watching the videos and it's like one of the things was the best player in the league has had like months and months out because he kept getting injured.
Yeah,
and
right.
they'll like fucking twist his legs up, run into him, twist his legs up, and then like slam him into the fucking ice
fuck.
and shit like that, or they'll check him up against the fucking wall or the glass or whatever, and he's just like, fuck, man. And it's like it would have never happened in the old days.
yeah.
But then
So
you
that's
used
that's
to,
worse because that could end his career kind of thing.
yeah,
Like,
exactly.
As opposed to just throwing a few punches kind of thing. Like,
Well, the punches give you concussions and stuff like that. I guess they're worried about that, but
yeah, but in a way though, like if you're whatever code you're in, if you're willing to play it at the top level and you're getting paid well for it, you kind of it's not like you don't know that they're a thing.
Yeah.
Like today you're aware of the risk kind of thing.
yeah,
So if you're willing to go out there and do it, then it's partly on you. Like you're still getting paid well to do it, and you are. It's not like it's a secret kind of thing. So I don't think you can hide behind that, in my opinion. But
no, and I think you can do things to reduce. Obviously, don't be a cunt. Like, don't put yourself in a situation where you're going to get hit and stuff like that.
yeah, well, there's that too. But like
yeah. Well,
Yeah,
they should like, if you rule out fights, you need to rule out the shit that they're doing, which would have caused a fight.
yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
It's like, yeah, all right, don't check up against the glass.
Yeah,
Like, you'll fucking hurt that person.
yeah,
So don't do it. And if you do it, you're off the ice for the rest of the night. Like, that's it.
yeah.
Or you bring back the old things, which is let them police themselves.
Yeah, well, I think it used to be that like they square off, but then both of them get sent off as well.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
like,
yeah.
they're kind of left alone to do their thing, but then you're both gone anyway. Kind of
Yeah,
thing.
they used to have like 4 minutes off the ice.
Yeah, something like
And
that.
they were always shit players as well. Like
Yeah.
they were just thugs. They couldn't
Yeah.
play hockey. They were just thugs.
Yeah,
And it's like
enforcers
it
or
didn't.
whatnot.
Yeah, it didn't matter that you lost these two dudes off the ice. It's like, all right, they're off the ice now. I guess we'll play a hockey now.
Yeah,
Yeah. But yeah, it's fucking. I don't know. Like it seems strange to me as well. Like fighting in sports, it's kind of, it's like, oh, we don't do it, and it's like, oh yeah, like go watch UFC or whatever. It's like, yeah, like just fucking let them do it. Like
Yeah.
just as long as they're not like going crazy and beating like.
yeah.
one
And to be
guy's
honest,
press.
it doesn't happen that often anyway.
Yeah.
Like, it's not often enough that they actually full on fucking punch on with each other or whatnot.
Yeah.
Origin was a bit different for like league kind of thing.
Well,
but,
Origin there was always one fight a year.
yeah, there was always
Like,
one kind
yeah.
of thing. But
Who was the New South Wales? last name starts with G. He was
Gallen.
yeah,
Paul Gallen,
yeah,
yeah.
Paul Gallen. He got it banned.
Yeah.
because he actually knew how to fight.
Yeah.
and
Put like 3 on Nate Miles' chin.
Yeah.
Admittedly, though, it didn't fucking seem to phase him. That kind of took him well.
Yeah, no, but it was just funny because he just lit him up like he was in a boxing match.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, whoa, 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 what are you doing, man?
No
before
real
he-
fighting. You're only allowed to
Yeah.
grab each other
Yeah,
by the
before-
shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, before he knew it, he like got hit 3 times.
Yeah. And it was pretty like left field as well. Like Gallo was just like, I'm gonna get into a fight.
Yeah.
And the first cunt who gives me even like a slither of a reason, I'm gonna light up.
Yeah.
So this dude's just like, he's done something like he might have like pushed him or something. I don't remember.
Yeah, I can't
what it
remember
was.
what started it.
Gallon just fucking lit him up.
Just teed off on him.
And they're like, all right, that's it. You're going fucking crazy. If you're going to take boxing lessons to punch
Yeah.
some cunt up on the field, you're not doing it anymore.
Yeah. But it wasn't even really much of a fight because he kind of hit him 3 times and Ahmed didn't even get his hands up and it didn't go anywhere after that. They kind of just,
Yeah, because everyone was looking at, Paul Gallen, like, what the fuck, dude? Like, he didn't do anything.
Yeah, and then they did that ad together where they're like kind of it's like for beer or something like that, and they're like, "Oh, I'm sorry," like and they're like, and it was like kind of real, like, they were kind of real awkward. Like, yeah, they were fine, obviously. Like, for the acting, they had to be kind of awkward to each other and be like, "Oh yeah," like, I don't know,
My bad.
Yeah, my bad.
Kind of overreacted a little bit there. I've done it.
Yeah,
Everyone's done it, like where you just overreact to a situation and something happens, like in your own head, it just gets blown out of proportion, and then there's a whole scene, and then you've got to be like at the end of it, like, whoops. Oh, yeah.
it's the worst feeling too when you're like, "Oh fuck, that wasn't as big a deal as I made it out to be." Like,
Yeah. Like, yeah, it's always awkward. Work trips used to be the best because everyone's full of piss and vinegar, and everyone's like fucking sick of each other. Work trips at the end of the year, you've been working together. There's people getting posted as well.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm not here next year, so fuck these cunts. You just get like, there's always blues, always. That's why I stopped fucking drinking with those cunts towards the end of it. I was like, you're just insane.
Yeah, I've never even really been in a fight either. Like the closest I came was it was at work actually. I was just labour hire for this like fab company, and I had to get all these cables and swage the ends and crimp them and whatnot. And then I had to send an old mate to weld on. And so I was sitting at the swage and there was like this hook next to me and I had like 50 of them to do. And I'd done like 6 and you're hanging them up on the hook. And he came over and he like knocked them all off the hook. And I was like, what the fuck, dude? He's like, and I'm like, no, like seriously pick them up. He's like, no. And I'm like, no, like do it. He's like, no. And I'm like, I guarantee you're going to pick these up. He's like, no, I'm not. I'm like, all right, no worries, kind of thing. So I left them ones down there and I did like the other 44 I had to do. Hang them all up on the hook, picked the other 6 up, hung them up, and I took them all into his bay because he had to weld them. And I took 50 of them in there and I just threw them on the ground. And I said, I fucking told you you'd pick them up. And he come out and he was like 5'7" or something. He had his chest puffed and he's like carrying his shopping bags and fucking whatnot. And he's like, come out in front. I'm like, what? And he's like, come out in front. I'm like, don't your fists work here? And he's like, he's like, come out in front. I'm like, I'm not fighting you, bro. Like, you can fucking take a swing if you want, but I'm not fighting you over this. Like, fucking go for it, son. But that's probably the closest I've come to getting in a fight. Like,
That's fucking great. Don't your fists work here? Yeah. Nah, that's what happened with Belzy and me. He was like, because he was retarded, and I was always calling him retarded, which probably didn't help. This one day, everyone's in the section, and this is me saying I deserved it, but he was like, we're all in the section, and I said, all right, so just put this fucking fitting on. I said, put it tight, but don't fucking hang off it. All right? Yeah. So, tight, like just, I don't know, 25% of your strength, if all of your strength is hanging off it. Anyway, so I walk away and I'm doing my own thing. And then I turn back and he's like, oh, I broke it. It's how he used to talk too. I'm like, what? He's like, I broke it. And I've walked up and he sheared the fitting off.
oh no.
This is a fucking 1/2-inch fitting too. It was a big fitting.
Yeah.
And it was like would have been cast iron, but still. I'm like, fuck me. You fucking ham-fisted fuck. I'm like, I told you to do it tight, not hang off it, cunt. So, what the fuck? And he's just staring at me and everyone's like, what the fuck, cunt? I'm like, I've done so many of these and I'm like, where I'll put them on tight too, because if you go too far and it's not lined up, you can't undo it because it's got plumbing tape on it.
Oh,
so you just got to fucking go around another 360.
Yeah.
You just make sure it's good. So I've done that plenty of times. Never fucking sheared it off.
Yeah, it's got
This
some give
cunt-
to it. Kind of thing,
Yeah,
like-
this can't just. Oh fuck. So anyway, we nearly got into a blue at work one day, and I was testing a part, and so I didn't do it all the way up. I just like sort of roughed it in, had everything loose, good to go. And he's seen it. He's like, if I fucking did that, you'd fucking feed it to me, cunt. And I'm like, no, I wouldn't actually, because you'd explain what you were doing. And I go, oh, okay, fair enough. Like, whatever. And then I kept going. He just like fucking lost his shit. And he's like, in my face, he was taller than me as well. He was about fucking 6'2", I'd say. And he's like pointing at me. I'm like, get your finger out of my face, Spelsy. He's like, oh, fucking, or what? I'm like, what do you mean, or what? I'm like, what are you going to do? And he goes, oh, what are you going to do? I'm like, nothing. I'm not the one trying to fight you, you dickhead.
Yeah.
I'm like, fucking.
I hate the or what or you heard me.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
The many times where like legit haven't heard him, I'm like, what? And they're like, you heard me. I'm like,
I
no, I've
didn't.
got no idea what the fuck you're talking about, bro.
Yeah. And he's like, kept going. I'm like, look, man, shit'll get off the toilet. Like, you can punch me or whatever, but we're on camera right now.
Yeah.
And all they're going to see is me with my hands out. And then I just started being a smartass to him as well, just making him angry. And I'm like this. I'm like, you won't do it.
Yeah, so on camera it looks like you're like, no, please don't.
like, you won't do it, faggot. Hands up like a helpless little boy. Fuck, I wish you'd have hit me. God damn it.
I think the only time I've hit anyone was fucking when I worked at Macca's and I was like in a massive Ric Flair stage because I was like in high school.
Ric Flair.
I love Ric Flair.
Yeah.
You know Ric Flair, like, woo!
Yeah.
And there was this kid, can't remember his name, but he used to cry really easy. And all I remember about him is he couldn't say safety scissors for some reason. That's all I remember. And someone was
Good a
like,
reason as any to bully him.
I think his name might have been Mark or something like that. But someone was like, "Oh, Ben, you should chop Mark." I'm like, "Yeah, that's a sweet idea for no reason." So I walked around the other side, and just as he turned around, like just chopped him in the chest with my arm. And he like looked at me, and he like kind of had like watery eyes, and I was like, "Woo!" and he just ran off crying. And I was like, 45 minutes later, I'm sitting in having me break, and the manager comes in. She's like, "Did you chop Mark?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that happened." And she's like, "Oh, can you, like, I don't know, apologise or something?" Just no one cared. And I had to go up to him and be like, "Oh, man, I'm sorry. I didn't mean for you to be." And he's like, I was like, "Fuck, if I could chop you again, I would." I'm just going square across the chest, just fucking, woo!
That's how you ended your apology. You'll be right, mate.
We good? Are you getting another one?
You do the fucking real sharp movements around you, so he flinches every time you're nearby him. I used to do that shit to my brother all the time. Just fuck with him. And then when he'd get confident, he wouldn't flinch. He'd just look at me, and then I'd just bitch slap him. That's what you get for not flinching, dude.
This one was real.
Yeah. Fuck, I was a cunt to him. Oh, man.
I can't wait until Tom turns up when your heaps baked one time and just starts fucking with you. I'm gonna set that up, I reckon.
Yeah.
It's gonna be payback.
I've turned a new leaf in the relationship with my brother. I've started being nice to him. It's crazy.
Fuck, he's not
We
gonna know
actually
what
get
that's
along
about.
now.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. As opposed to what I used to do, which is just fucking lecture him and berate him every time I ran into him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Funny that. Are you going to use that Lipton bottle?
No. Do you want it?
Yeah, it looks like it'd be a good bong.
Yeah, all right. You can have it for that.
You don't have a bong?
I have, yeah.
It needs to upgrade. We're gonna turn that decanter into a billy.
Yeah. Yeah.
You go cut a length of the hose and find out it's your own. You're like, fuck.
Nah, fucking. I reckon that. Is that crystal, Tanya?
Yeah, it would be.
Oh, we can't use it as a bong.
Why?
Crystal's got lead in it, mate.
Oh, I didn't know that. There
Ah.
you go.
Yeah.
Just double check with Mum, I think.
Oi, Mum, what's the decanter made out of? I want to smoke out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's a whole thing with crystal decanter. It's insane. Like you store alcohol in it. It's like, yeah, it's glass and lead put together, and all these cunts are getting sick, and they're like, oh, turns out you shouldn't use heavy metals in things where you fucking store your liquids that you're going to ingest.
Well, it looks a lot like glass to me.
It
But
does, doesn't
I
it?
don't
Probably
know.
glass.
What do I
Hopefully
know?
it's glass.
We'll find out in about 10 years' time when we've got lung cancer.
From smoking bongs out of crystal glasses.
Yeah.
Why don't you just go to a bong shop?
I went down the road, and I've been there before, and they used to sell bongs. And then I'm just like, oh, can I have a look at your bongs? And they're like, we don't sell those. And then she just stared at me until I walked out. I was like, oh, sorry.
But did they sell bongs?
They used to.
Right.
Yeah. So it wasn't like I was just walking in for the first time. And the first time she was kind of sus about it as well. Because she was like, oh, no. I'm like, oh, what about...
It's like you weren't just in a bakery. Like, you know,
Yeah, it's a bakery.
we don't sell bongs like you used to. Like, if you're in the right store, that makes a lot more sense. But
Yeah. No, it's
I was like, if you're in a
tobacconist.
bakery and she's deaf staring you at, I'm like, I'm kind of on her side. But
So where did you go?
To the bakery.
Might have 10.
No, I went to the bakery. I bought a fucking chocolate milk, an oak, and I made my own bong.
Oh.
That's exactly what I did. I fucking
you
walked
fucked up
out.
and bought the carton. Though. You're like, this is shit.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, that is good. What time
That'd be a
are we
good
at?
bit for you.
105.
105. We're fucking...
We're killing it.
Yeah, we fucking demolished it.
I started it a bit early, though, so it's going to have to chop off the front end.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Circumcise it.
Yeah, circumcise the podcast. Yeah. Oh, fuck. I don't think there's any comedy on next week. So.
No, I don't think it's again to the Wicco.
Oh, fuck. Can't wait.
Oh, man.
I don't want to go back. Not after last
It's
time.
a tough room.
Oh, it was fucking horrific. No.
That was a hard night.
Yeah, I'll go back.
It kind of went backwards because normally I found like you want to be in the first half as opposed to the second because
Yeah.
normally by the second people kind of leave and they're over it or whatnot. And but yeah, the first half seemed to suck ass, and then the Wicco that came good in the second, like everyone was really into it, or who was left over. But
Yeah, it seemed that way. You could argue that the good people went on in the second half as well,
yeah, well, I think they did too, which is but yeah,
which helped. Yeah. Yeah, and the crowd moved up. Yeah, makes it better.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck it. I'm going to have to write some shit because I'm out of bits at the moment.
you got any ideas or?
Nah. They've got nothing.
We'll listen to that podcast and see if we can polish any of those terms.
Yeah. I was saying some shit I was cracking up at, but I don't know if any of it's
I remember
usable.
at one point I was like crying laughing.
I was saying some ill things.
Oh yeah, you're an evil cunt.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, you're just fucking evil.
Yeah,
There's
I know.
nothing wrong with you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What?
you're a fucking psychopath.
I am. Tell
Did
us.
you ever do
We're
anything with your fruit pickers bit?
Fuck, I can't even remember it.
It was the last time.
Going over.
Yeah, it was the last time I was down here. You said you had a bit where you
Oh yeah,
your cousin was in Mexico and they had no fruit pickers or something like that.
He's stealing hard-working Mexican jobs.
And like, he's working as a fruit picker in Mexico or some shit. Like they're all off picking fruit somewhere else. Or,
Yeah. They all went to America, so then they've got to import in
Fruit
poor,
pickers.
yeah, poor white people to do the job because no Mexicans want to pick fruit anymore. Fuck, that is racist.
Just a tad.
Probably why it bombed the first time.
Oh, you did do it on stage, did you?
I did do it once, yeah.
Yeah, that might be why.
Yeah. I want to... Fuck, what... Oh, we came up with a show idea. So we were talking about it. Do like a like maybe a mini series or like a short film of like 10 weeks where you get a comic. It can be any comic, but I've got a specific comic in mind. And we give him we get all the comics in Newcastle together, and they just fucking write a set for him.
Right.
And they coach him. So you've got all the best comedians. You get Kappa, get Luke, you get everyone down to fucking run him through his set, and then at the end of it, he does a big show, maybe What Street Comedy or something like that, or even a big dog show where
I don't know if you're getting a big dog, but
I reckon we could if we had all of Newcastle comics behind him. I reckon we could, and it was part of a show. Yeah. And it just, so the first scene would be him doing his set.
yeah,
As is. And just the awkward silences and the, and the rest. And then the end of the 10 weeks, you just have him fucking killing, or even better, still bombing.
I feel like the latter is more likely.
Yeah. But, I mean, you could do it with any comic. You could do it with me, easily.
What, 10 weeks later, you're still bombing?
Yeah, 100%.
That's how it'd have to go, I reckon. Otherwise, it's not. It's just like a documentary, I guess.
Yeah.
But if it ends with you just still eating shit after 10 weeks, that's funny.
Yeah.
Because people aren't expecting it.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, let's see how we went.
Yeah.
And it's more of an accurate representation of what it's actually like to do comedy.
Yeah. I feel like that'd be a fucking, even just a good movie.
Yeah.
That'd be a good Aussie movie. So, what was that one about bowls?
Oh, Crackerjack.
Crackerjack. Sort of like Crackerjack, but without, old men dying in the middle of it. That's all I remember about that movie.
All I remember is his flipper.
He's flipper.
Yeah, he turns the bowl sideways and rolls it that way, and he calls it the flipper. And it's similar to the knuckle puck from Mighty Ducks, where you're that would never work, but in the movie it works.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
There'd be literally the most retarded way to do something.
Yeah.
Without movie magic, there's no way that's fucking working.
No, there's a reason why it's never been done,
Yeah.
and it's because it doesn't work. It's like you never see a Aikido.
Because even if you just fucking suggested it, you're not getting to the top level.
Yeah. They're like, you can't do this.
You
anymore.
can't. You don't have the mind frame to.
That'd be fucking like a Aikido, or even better, like a no-touch martial artist. Making a movie out of someone who's just no touch, and they just dominate through the UFC, just knocking out everyone without even laying a hand on them. But in real life, those cunts don't even make it off YouTube because someone knocks them out. Yeah. Awkward silence.
No, I just thought like a no-touch pedophile.
Oh my god!
I didn't touch anyone.
Have you seen the video? There was this dude, and he's teaching people how to fucking project their key.
Oh, I think
He's
so.
a
Is he
big-
the white-haired?
Yeah, he's
fucking
a
old
big
dude.
fat dude, and he's doing the class, and he's throwing fucking Kamehamehas and knocking
Yeah.
people out, and then he charges at this tiny little fucking bird, and she throws the shit. He's got too much momentum. And he just fucking cleans her up. And she's all like, ah! But he's already committed to the bit. So he's still fizzing out on the ground. Shit like that. It's fucking great. Yeah.
So she throws it at him,
Yeah.
but he knocked
Yeah, he just
Plows
keeps
into her.
running, plows through her.
but then pretends to be fucked up by it
Yeah.
at the same time. That's
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
hilarious.
He comes to, he's like, "Oh, what happened to her?" You fucking know, cunt. You know what happened.
That's brilliant.
Fuck.
How can people be that dumb?
Oh man, it's just Well, all of that stuff came out before the internet, so you just didn't know.
Yeah.
You remember when you were a kid and you're like, fuck, if someone was a karate black belt, they could just, kill the president. And no one would be able to do anything. Cunts can dodge bullets. Haven't you seen The Matrix? He knows Kung Fu. Kung Fu lets you dodge bullets. I remember I got into a fight. I was 9 years old. Got into a fight with this fucking crazy kid. He was always telling me I had ADHD. And that automatically...
There was
back
always
in the
one
day-
of them at school, wasn't there? Oh, I have ADHD, don't fuck with me.
Yeah.
It was
yeah,
that kid, and then at some point or another, he got his ass flogged.
Yeah, no, it was... Yeah, I used to
Yeah.
pick fights with kids with ADHD.
Yeah.
Because I found out those kids actually can't fight. So they're
No.
actually a very easy target.
They just wig out easy.
Yeah. They just go nuts. Anyway, I remember he's fucking like 9 years old, so we don't know how to fight. All I knew is you just punch them in the face, and usually they stop. They start crying after you do that. So anyway, so we're in this fight. He scratched my eye, and he swings his bag at me, and I like duck under it, and I felt like such a fucking hero. I was like, I ducked under the bag, and then I did the full Neo thing, like where I had like both arms, and then I like
no.
put my hand out, and I like beckoned him towards me.
Just because you did that, I hope he kicked the shit out of you.
Nah, he didn't.
Oh, that's so
I was like 9 years
so
old.
cringy.
I know.
That hurts to picture.
I know. Yeah, like I said, I was like 21 years old when it happens.
It's just,
I just didn't know any better, guys.
it was just yesterday once this Sheila told me they don't sell bongs.
That's pretty funny, actually. That'll
Yeah.
work on stage, I reckon. I might have been 9. No, I was like 21. No, I was like last week, actually. I don't know why I'm picking fights with kids down at the fucking playground still, but I can't help myself.
I just break into primary schools and start assaulting children.
Do you have ADHD? Yeah. But
This is my slide.
I don't think kids with ADHD at school now would be as like fucking cringy.
Just throwing uppercuts at them as they come down the slide.
Oh, man. I had fucking problems as a kid.
You still have problems now, cunt.
Yeah, I know, but now these are medical.
Now I can't just punch things to get over my problems. I have
Yeah.
to take pills.
Yeah.
How easy it used to be.
I can imagine like going back in time and like past me trying to justify to future me why I used to do the things that I did. Like just dumb shit. Like I was, like I was just like 9 years old. Yeah, I punched him in the head. Why? Oh, well, he slapped me across the chest.
And then he went, woo! And that's how I lost my job at Macca's.
Yeah. Just shit like that.
Yeah.
Not my brightest moment, but fuck, it might make a good bit. You never know.
Get fired for deep frying toys or something stupid like that.
They just melt.
Yeah, they do. Or throwing
Anyway.
eggs.
I think we've run our time now. Because I'm out of shit to say. You got any more shit to say, Ben?
Not that I can think of about the natural flow of conversation. So.
Well, no, I'd rather just put you on the spot.
Right.
Now dance for me.
I got nothing to say. I said more than enough on Friday night.
Yeah.
So you've been pretty quiet this one.
Yeah, I have. I'm just like, my brain's still not in gear.
Yeah, he was sitting like exactly here, and I was laying there. We were looking into each other's eyes and arguing about
Sounds
minor
hot.
points. And then I got scared of Ethan at one point.
Is that why you went to bed?
No,
It's like,
no. I was just genuinely tired. I was tuckered out. I was up since 8 o'clock that morning, all right?
So was I.
Well-
I was going hard. I was ready to keep smoking. You're like, nah.
We weren't smoking, though. We were drinking beers.
Yeah, I was ready to keep drinking beers.
Smoking beers.
You Yes, that's what we're naming it.
Yeah.
That episode, Smoke and Beer.
I still stand by don't acknowledge it because we were playing that game. Every time you came close to saying what we were actually doing, you have to cut it out and be like, don't acknowledge it. So we just literally would have sounded like two crazy people.
This thing's about to fall off the table, and there's nothing I can do to stop it.
There is. We can stop the podcast.
Yeah.
I think that's it anyway.
All right.
It's probably as good as it's going to get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, love yous. Bye. Mwah.